Welcome to the man cave. Let the games begin. Hello man cavers, we're back. I thought I'd show you me finishing the Honda today. As you see, we got the van done and in primer yesterday. But because there's such a lot of filler in there, like 8 layers of filler, I'm going to leave that a good few days, because filler can shrink back a little. When you've got a little bit of filler, it ain't too bad, but when you've got it in there sort of 1/2 inch thick, you know, after a few days, after it's fully cured, the filler can shrink a little. A lot of body shops, who, if they did this, they would have probably sprayed it today, but then in 4 months' time, you might see through the paint a slight shrink. You'd see where it was probably. So I'm going to leave that to settle for at least 2 or 3 days. It's Sunday today. So, and then we will be getting this side of the van done, hopefully this week. But at the minute, we're leaving that to settle. But the Honda only had 2 little bits of filler in it. So we are going to wet and dry this down. Now, a few of you have said you like seeing the entire process. So I'm going to show you the entire process. We'll just open the door so we don't catch the door with the sandpaper. There we go. And we will get started. Right, first thing we got to do, get our bucket of water with some 600 or 800, this is 800 actually, 800 wet and dry. And we need to just give that a little rub down. But before we rub down, one key thing that a lot of people forget to do, that is apply a guide coat so you make sure you've got it all. So with our door open, we crank a bit of paper in there and we get some trade spray or matte black or whatever. This is just a matte black aerosol. And we don't colour it, we just put a dust coat on it, like so. There you go. Now, why is that dust coat on there, you say? Well, I'll tell you why. It's so we know we've rubbed everything down. So to start with, we're going to use a block up here. And then, see that trade spray is dry already. And then for the odd to get bits, we will just use our hand. So just block this off. See how easy that edge come off when I did that little back mask yesterday. That's the technical word for it. Don't worry, I'm not going onto that door, that's just the water. So you need to rub down until all that black has gone, and then you know you've got everything rubbed down. If it weren't for that, you'd have a job to see where you'd rubbed down and where you hadn't. This will show if you've got any low spots. I've just noticed I had a tiny little run in the primer there, look. We may not have noticed that if we hadn't have done the old guide coat. Yeah. You could do this with a DA, but such a small area, I'm just going to do it by hand. This will just show any imperfections in our primer. See these little tiny black marks in there? They are slight low spots in the primer. So we need to get rid of them, or virtually get rid of them, because it all makes for a better job if you can do that. There you go, there's that little run now gone out of there. Look, that little sag we had in the primer, that's now totally gone. Now this bottom bit, we're going to fold our paper over to get a new bit. And we will just rub this bit down here by hand. Which shouldn't be too bad because there was no damage down here, so that shouldn't be too bad. So, some of you guys enjoyed the van video, I notice. Thank you very much for watching. We do read, me and Mrs. Mancave, we do read each and every comment, we really do. We do get round to replying to as many as we can. Sometimes we'll have an evening on the sofa just replying to comments. Yeah. I'll rub all them little gremlins out of there, look. Without getting on that door. There we go. There we go. There we go. This is about perfect. There you go. Them little marks are all just about gone. There. That is pretty damn good now. Yeah. Now some of you are probably thinking you're not spraying in a booth. Let me tell you something about spray booths, people. Spray booths are there purely to get the job done faster. Now what, a clean rag again. Dry this off. Yeah, spray booths are there purely to get the job done faster. Do they make for a better job? Not necessarily. Do they make for stronger paint? No, quite the opposite if I'm honest. When you put a car in a spray booth, it gets baked at about between 70 and 90 degrees for either 20 or 40 minutes, depending on the painter, depending on the paint. And you use obviously a slow hardener in your, or a slow sort of activator in your lacquer, because most stuff is clear coat now, or even if it's a solid colour, it'll have a sort of hardener in it. And what the spray booth does is it basically blasts it with heat and force dry it. And that actually causes the paint to go brittle. So if you have a bonnet done and it's done in a spray booth, it will be a lot more susceptible to picking up stone chips to what a air dried bonnet will do. Now they don't tell you that, they make it sound like a booth is the best thing since sliced bread. A booth is good because it's a sterilely clean environment, but we're doing this outside, and when you see the finished result of this, you'll think just as good as any booth. Obviously if you're surrounded by midgets and flies you wouldn't be doing it, but to be honest with you, doing one wing outside on a nice day, no problem at all. So yes, a spray booth makes your paint brittle, and that is a fact. When lacquer is left with a nice sort of, you know, you put a fast hardener when you do lacquer for air drying, you use a fast hardener, and that basically makes it goes off faster, but it doesn't force dry it. It's basically left to air dry. So once this is lacquered today, oh, what's the temperature out there today? About 22. It'll probably take about 4 hours to fully dry, or to go tack dry, but you won't be able to really touch or polish it till tomorrow. Spray booths, body shops can't wait that long. They want to get this wing in, they'd want to get this in the oven now and have that polished in 2 hours time, ready to go back to the customer. They can't afford to have a car sit there for having one wing done for 2 days. They just can't do it. They just want this in and out. You know, at the body shop I used to work in, if we'd have had this come in from the, you know, that had come from the body shop into the paint booth like this, our managers would have wanted that back to the customer in 2 hours. So it would be mask up, paint, blast it for 20 minutes with heat, give it a quick nib off and machine polish, back to the customer. But Man Cave don't rush like that, because I'm on Norfolk time. Anyhow, where's my damn blowgun? Help me understand. All right, let me get my blowgun and we'll get that blown off. So now we've got our blowgun, we want to blow out round all the cracks. Oh, look at all that dust coming out there. There you go. Now you're saying, why did you blow that off all around the edges? Because all we're going to do is we're going to colour this bit. We only put the black up here and up here. We don't put the black edge to the bonnet or to the bumper, simply because it minimises your colour change. You know, any different, it's black, it's not so crucial at all. But if you're spraying a silver, for argument's sake, you would have to blow into this door. If not, there would be a night and day difference between your colour, because silver is a nightmare to match. Most light metallics are like that, whether it be a light metallic blue or light metallic green, red, whatever, especially pearls, because when they're sprayed in the factory, the paint lays on a certain way. You can have the exact same colour, spray it on, and the paint won't sit like the panel next to it. It never does, and it will look slightly off at different angles. Silvers are by far the worst, but blacks, you can pretty much get away with it. But we're only going to colour sort of round here. We shan't put any black paint onto this part of the wing or up here. This will all just be lacquered. There are some marks on this wing. They look like dead flies, so I might just have to nib them off. Yeah, because I can't really lacquer over them. So let me just get rid of them little marks. I'm going to get a bit of my worn paper and just nib over them. There we go. And that'll get them little marks off there. Because anything you lacquer over is going to get trapped underneath it. There we go. So now we've done that, we get our rag again, which I've pre-panel wiped. And just wipe over them. There we go. There we go. Alright, now we are ready to give this thing a mask off. And then we'll see about getting some paint on the old girl. So let me get my masking machine. So what we're going to do is, I'm actually going to put a roll of tape in the masking machine so it works as it should. So I ain't got to do that messing about sticking the paper on. So we're actually going to bung a roll of masking tape on the machine. Ah, come on, get on that reel. Cool. She's a tight one getting on there, boy. Come on. There you go, we're on. Perfect. Right. There you go, that'll now paper my tape as we go. There. Here we go. And we want to stick this paper up out of the way. So we've got him stuck there. We want a little bit on the mirror just to hold it. A little bit on the door just to hold it. A little bit on the sill just to stop it blowing about. We're just masking up around all the little trims. There you go. But we don't want overspray getting on any of this. I might forward through this bit, so I'm sure you guys don't just want to watch me mask a car up. Yeah, I'll forward through this. There we go. We are all masked up. So I think now, hang on, eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed. We hadn't done the mud flap block. Perfect. Right, let me go and get the base coat in the gun, then we'll be back. Right, we're back with our spray gun. One more little job. The last final thing you want to do before you paint is go over it one last time with your panel wipe. And that'll just get any dust what you've created while you was masking up. So just give that a panel wipe off. You can use tack cloths, but when you're spraying outside, that's a little bit pointless. There we go. So our paint is in the gun. Here we go. There we go. So we need to leave that to sort of dry and flash off for a few seconds or a few minutes. And then we can give it another one. But it's nice and warm today, so that shouldn't take too long to flash off. There we go. We have just about coloured our area. I don't know whether you can see that. I hope that's showing up on camera. So we're basically coloured our area. And now we're going to, by the time I've mixed the lacquer up, that'll be just about ready to put the lacquer on. But before we do that, you notice I just sprayed in a straight line across there. Now, you can still see where the blend mark is, so we need to flick that into the panel a little. So if there's any colour difference, it will lose it. And you won't notice just that little bit has been coloured. So we'll give it another coat, and we'll just flick up that. So yeah. There you go, we've just flicked that up into the panel. So, next time you see me, we will be getting the lacquer on. Let me clean this gun out, then we'll be back. So, we're back. 2K lacquer in the gun. And let's give this a go, see how we get on. First things first again, what do you think we're going to do? Panel wipe the panel. The base coat will be dry now, so we just want to go over the whole thing with panel wipe again, just to make sure any final bits of dust are off and your fingerprints are off. There we go. Right, let's get our lacquer on. We're going to blow any dust off. There we go. You want a light coat. There. Now we just want one light coat. That looks like crap at the minute, I know, but that is just a dust coat. One thing you got to remember with lacquer is it's so easy to get a run in it. Don't put it on too heavy. So we're just giving it one light coat. We'll leave that until that's tack dry. I'll tell you what I mean by tack dry. What it basically means is when you touch it and that to me that's still really wet. But when that starts to string off your fingers like spiders, then you know it's ready for another coat. If you put it on now, it's likely to run. So we'll give that a minute and then we'll give it another coat. All right, let's give that another check. Perfect. Can you hear that? When I touch on the paper, my finger is kind of sticking to it. So we know that's dry enough now for another coat. So let's get mask back up. There we go. And we will give it one more. There we go, we're starting to get a finish now. We are starting to get a finish. That's with one light coat and one spray coat. We're starting to get a nice finish on it. So another 10 minutes. This will then be ready to give it the third coat. And then this job will be just about finished. Unless we do some machine polishing. But that will be another video. Right, let this dry, then we'll be back. Right, we're ready for our final coat. There we go. That is our final coat. I think this will do us. There you go. That's done. Right. We will clean the gun out. And then we'll come back when this is a bit drier and you can see what we're doing. Well, let's have a look now actually. And you'll see. There we go. There is our paint finish now. This is pretty much what we're going to be left with. Now 2K paint. Let me take the mask off. 2K paint, that's better. 2K paint does flow a little. So once you put it on, you know, after a few minutes, you'll notice it starts to, you know, it will flow. It will even out a bit and it'll be a lot better. But there we go. That's what we've got. Right. I think that's it for the Honda. She's painted and looking very nice indeed. There is our freshly painted wing. And do you see what I mean? You can't tell where I actually put the colour, which was around here. All that is the original black. So all we've got is this little bit of colour here. And there we go. Right, that's going to be it for this video. I've now got to clean the gun out. And yeah, get ready to do it all over again on the van in the week. But for now, that's it. Right, bye-bye for now. Ha-ha! Thank you very much for watching, guys. Like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. There. There we go. By the time the rest of the car gets washed, that will look spot on. Bye-bye for now.